Before we begin, I want to ask you to do something that might feel unnatural in this busy, distracted world. I want you to stop everything you are doing. Put down whatever else is in your hands. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, I want you to truly arrive in this moment. Look at the screen in front of you. Listen to the sound of my voice. I need you to understand something fundamental before we discuss money or success or freedom. It is the understanding that you did not click on this video by accident. In the vast, infinite web of the internet, with billions of videos and distractions fighting for your attention, the fact that you are here right now is not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment. In the spiritual economy of the universe, there are no accidents. There are no random events. There are only responses to requests. You are here because something deep inside of you sent out a signal. This signal did not necessarily look like a formal prayer. It might not have been spoken out loud in a church or a temple. Sometimes, the loudest prayers are the silent ones. The signal might have been a heavy sigh you let out late at night when you looked at your bank account. It might have been the feeling of overwhelming exhaustion that hit you while you were driving home from a job that drains your soul. It might have been a fleeting thought of desperation, where you simply asked, "Is this all there is? Or is it always going to be this hard?" That thought was a frequency. That sigh was a summons, and the infinite intelligence which governs the stars and the tides heard you. This video is the response to that signal. The universe has conspired to bring you to this exact moment, to hear this exact message, because you are finally ready to receive it. You have reached a breaking point, and that breaking point is actually a turning point. You have come to the realization that your old way of doing things is no longer working. You have tried fighting. You have tried worrying. You have tried manipulating circumstances. You have tried working yourself into the ground. And yet, here you are, still feeling the weight of the struggle. The fact that you are listening to me right now is proof that your soul is looking for a different way. It is looking for the path of grace instead of the path of grind. I want you to feel the weight of what I am saying. You are not alone in this room. You are not alone in your struggle. The very same intelligence that designed the intricate patterns of a snowflake and orchestrates the rhythm of the ocean has personally scheduled this meeting with you. It has cleared the way for you to receive a reminder of who you really are. You did not come here to learn how to hustle harder. You did not come here to get a lecture on financial literacy or budgeting tricks. You came here to remember your divine heritage. You came here to be reminded that you are a child of the infinite and that your natural state is abundance, not lack. Think about the timing of this. Think about what has been happening in your life over the last few weeks or months. The stress, the pressure, the feeling of walking against the wind. It felt like punishment, but I want you to reframe it right now. It was not punishment, it was preparation. It was the universe cornering you into a place where you would finally stop fighting and start listening. It was necessary for you to get tired of your own strength so that you would be willing to rely on divine strength. You had to reach the end of your rope so that you could finally grab onto the hand that has been reaching out to you all along. So I want you to treat this next period of time as a sacred sanctuary. For the duration of this video, you have permission to put down your armor. I know you are used to wearing it. I know you feel like you have to be strong for everyone else. You have to be strong for your children. You have to be strong for your partner. You have to be strong for your boss. You feel like if you relax for even 1 second, the whole world will fall apart. But I am telling you right now that you can rest here. You can lay that heavy shield down. You can take off the mask of having it all together. God sees your heart. He sees the anxiety you hide behind your smile. He sees the calculations you do in your head at the grocery store. He sees the fear that wakes you up at 3 in the morning. And he is saying to you right now, it is okay. You can rest now. I have got this. This is the divine appointment. It is a meeting between your tired human self and your limitless spiritual self. We are going to bridge that gap today. We are going to dismantle the lies that have kept you in a state of struggle, and we are going to reinstall the truth that will set you free. But you must be present. You must be open. Skepticism is a luxury you cannot afford right now. Cynicism is the wall that blocks the blessing. I am asking you to suspend your disbelief for just a little while. Open your mind to the possibility that there is an easier way. Open your heart to the possibility that you are supported by invisible forces that are actively working for your good. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that the game of life is a game of boomerangs. What you send out comes back. You sent out a cry for help. You sent out a desire for ease. And the boomerang has returned with this message. Do not dismiss it. Do not click away thinking you will watch it later. Later is the language of the ego. Now is the language of the spirit. You are here now because you need this now. The solution to your problem already exists. Before you even had the financial trouble, the solution was prepared. Before you even had the debt, the supply was ready. The only thing missing was your alignment. The only thing missing was your ability to receive. This video is the tuning fork that is going to bring you back into alignment. It is the key that is going to unlock the door that you have been pounding on for years. But you have to stop pounding. You have to stop screaming. You have to stand still and let the door open. That is why we started with a breath. That is why we started with a pause. Because you cannot hear the voice of intuition when you are screaming in panic. You cannot see the open door when you are blinded by tears of frustration. The divine appointment is your invitation to stillness. It is your invitation to step out of the chaos of the world and into the calm of the spirit. So, as we move forward into the deeper teachings, I want you to carry this knowing with you. Keep reminding yourself, I am supposed to be here. This is happening for me. This is not a random YouTube video. This is a lifeline. This is a letter from home. Trust the timing of your life. Trust the fact that you found this message today, of all days. There is a reason for it. And if you stay with me, if you truly listen with your heart, I promise you that by the end of this session, you will feel a shift. You will feel the heavy burden lift off your shoulders. You will feel the knot in your stomach loosen. You will feel a sense of peace that you haven't felt in a very long time. And in that peace, the miracles you have been waiting for will finally have the space to enter. Welcome to your divine appointment. Let us begin the transformation. Now that we have established that you are here by divine appointment, we must address the elephant in the room. We must talk about the exhaustion that brought you here. I am not talking about the kind of tiredness that is cured by a nap or a cup of coffee. I am talking about spiritual fatigue. This is a bone-deep weariness that comes from pushing against an invisible wall for years and never breaking through. You have done everything you were supposed to do. You followed the rules of society. You went to school, you got the job, you worked the overtime, you saved your pennies, and you denied yourself pleasures. You subscribe to the belief that if you just work hard enough and struggle long enough, the reward will eventually come. But look at your life honestly. Has the reward arrived, or is the carrot still dangling just out of reach? There is a cruel paradox at play in your life, and we need to expose it right now. The paradox is this: the harder you try to get money, the further it moves away from you. This sounds unfair, and it sounds illogical to the rational mind, but it is the absolute law of the spiritual universe. You have been taught that the path to wealth is paved with struggle. You have been taught that money is a prize you win for suffering. So you wake up every day, and you put on your armor, and you go out to fight the battle. You treat your life like a war zone. You treat money like a wild animal that must be hunted down and captured. And this is exactly why you are stuck. Let me explain the physics of this invisible wall. Money is not just paper and coins. Money is energy. It is a current of value that flows through the world. Energy does not respond to force. Energy responds to resonance. When you are operating from a place of trying hard, what is the underlying emotion behind that effort? Be honest with yourself. The emotion is fear. You are working hard because you are terrified of being broke. You are saving every cent because you are terrified of not having enough. You are losing sleep because you are terrified of the future. Your entire existence is vibrating at the frequency of fear and lack. The universe functions like a giant mirror. It does not reflect what you want, it reflects who you are being. When you approach life with the energy of struggle, the universe mirrors that struggle back to you. It says, "Oh, you want to fight for your money. Okay, here is a harder battle. Oh, you want to worry about every bill. Okay, here are more bills to worry about." The universe is simply matching your intensity. By trying harder, you are essentially screaming at the universe, "I do not have enough, and I do not trust that I will be provided for." And the universe dutifully responds by giving you more experiences of not having enough. This is why you see people who work 3 jobs and physically destroy their bodies, yet they can barely pay the rent. And then you see others who seem to move through life with a sense of ease and grace, and opportunities just fall into their laps. It is not because the universe loves them more. It is not because they are lucky. It is because they are not pushing against the wall. They are not chasing the money. They are attracting it. There is a massive difference between chasing and attracting. When you chase something, it runs away. That is the instinct of nature. If you run towards a bird, it flies away. If you run towards a cat, it hides. Money has the same instinct. When you chase it with desperation, it retreats. It senses your predatory energy. It senses your hunger and your fear, and it repels you. Think about the feeling of desperation. It is a sticky, heavy energy. It smells like panic. Have you ever been on a date with someone who was desperate for a relationship? Someone who needed you to complete them? It was repulsive, wasn't it? You wanted to get away from them as fast as possible. Now imagine you are doing that to money. You are clinging to it. You are obsessing over it. You are terrified of losing it. You are suffocating the very energy you are trying to attract. This is the invisible wall. It is built out of your own anxiety. It is built out of your own need to control everything because you do not trust that you are supported. Spiritual fatigue sets in when you realize that your human will is not enough. You have been trying to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have been acting as the general manager of the universe, trying to orchestrate every single detail of your financial life. You calculate, you strategize, you worry, you manipulate, and it is exhausting because you were never meant to carry that load. You were designed to be a channel for abundance, not the source of it. When you try to be the source, you run dry. When you try to force the river to flow upstream, you burn out. The invisible wall is also reinforced by your beliefs about your own worthiness. Deep down, many of you believe that if it comes easily, it is not valuable. You have a subconscious program that says, no pain, no gain. You think that if you didn't suffer for the money, you don't deserve to keep it. So even when money does come easily, you subconsciously find a way to get rid of it. The car breaks down. You get a parking ticket. You lend it to a friend who never pays you back. You effectively push the money away to restore your equilibrium of struggle because struggle feels familiar and safe to your ego. We have to dismantle this wall brick by brick. We have to shatter the illusion that struggle is a requirement for success. Florence Scovel Shinn taught the law of non-resistance. She said that nothing on earth can resist a person who is absolutely non-resistant. What does that mean? It means you stop fighting the current. It means you stop treating your bills like enemies. It means you stop treating your bank account like a bomb that is about to explode. It means you drop the weapons. You relax your hands. You stop trying to strangle the life out of your circumstances. I want you to visualize a person drowning. They are thrashing in the water. They are screaming. They are kicking. They are expending massive amounts of energy. But the more they struggle, the faster they sink. They are fighting the water. Now visualize a person floating. They are lying back. Their lungs are full of air. They trust the water to hold them up. They are using almost no effort, and yet they are sustained. They are safe. The water is the same in both scenarios. The only difference is the reaction of the person. You have been thrashing in the ocean of abundance. You have been fighting the very substance that wants to support you. This is why trying harder keeps you poor, because trying implies doubt. If I tell you to try to pick up a pen, you might hesitate. But if I tell you to pick up the pen, you just do it. There is no try. There is only do or do not. Trying is a state of limbo. Trying is a statement of weakness. It says, I am not sure if I can do this, but I will expend effort to prove I am worthy. You do not need to prove anything. The abundance is already here. It is surrounding you like the air you breathe. You do not have to try to breathe. You do not have to fight for oxygen. You just open your lungs and receive. Money is the same. It is available. It is plentiful, but you have blocked your own airway with your panic. The shift we are making today is from active force to active faith. Active force is you trying to break down the door. Active faith is you realizing the door is unlocked and turning the handle. It requires a completely different kind of strength. It requires the strength to be calm when everyone else is panicking. It requires the strength to trust when the evidence looks bad. It requires the strength to let go of the steering wheel and trust that the road will rise to meet you. So I want you to acknowledge your fatigue. Do not push it down. Acknowledge that you are tired of doing it the hard way. That tiredness is actually a gift. It is your soul telling you that the old way is dead. It is time to bury the hustle. It is time to bury the grind. It is time to bury the belief that you are alone in this universe fighting for survival. You are not an orphan. You are a child of the King. And children of the King do not beg, and they do not struggle. They inherit. The invisible wall exists only in your mind. And the moment you stop pushing against it, the moment you relax and lean back, you will realize that the wall was never really there at all. It was a shadow cast by your own fear. Step out of the shadow and into the ease. We have identified the invisible wall of struggle, and now we must define the law that governs it. This is the core teaching that separates the masters of manifestation from the eternal students. It is called the law of non-resistance. Most people live their lives in a state of constant resistance. They resist their debts. They resist their poverty. They resist their bad luck. They wake up in the morning and they put on their boxing gloves to fight their circumstances. But here is the spiritual truth that will save your life. What you resist persists. When you fight something, you feed it with your energy. When you hate your poverty, you are actually chaining yourself to it, because hate is a form of intense focus, and focus is the currency of creation. The universe does not speak English or Spanish or French. The universe speaks frequency. And there is one frequency that is absolutely repulsive to money, and that frequency is desperation. I want you to think of money not as a cold, hard object, but as a living energy. Think of money like a shy, wild animal, or perhaps even better, think of money like a person you are trying to date. Imagine you went on a first date with someone and they sat down across from you and immediately started sweating. Imagine they grabbed your hand across the table with a tight, sweaty grip and said, "I need you. I cannot live without you. If you leave me, I will die. Please do not leave me." How would you react? You would be terrified. You would pull your hand away. You would make an excuse and you would run out the back door as fast as you could. Why would you run? Because that energy is heavy. It is suffocating. It is demanding. It feels like a trap. Yet, this is exactly how 90% of people treat money. They scream at it in their minds. They say, "I need you. Where are you? Why aren't you here yet?" They clutch every dollar with a death grip, terrified to let it go. They check their bank accounts 10 times a day, with a heart pounding in fear. And money, which is just a responsive energy, does exactly what the date did. It runs away. It finds a way to escape. It avoids you because your energy is not welcoming, it is threatening. Money runs from desperation, but it flows to appreciation. It flows to ease. It flows to people who respect it but do not worship it. It flows to people who welcome it but do not strangle it. This brings us to the most radical concept in Florence Scovel Shinn's philosophy. She taught that worry is a sin. Now, growing up, you might have been taught that sins were things like stealing or lying. But in the metaphysics of abundance, worry is the greatest sin of all because worry is faith in evil. Think about that for a moment. When you worry, what are you doing? You are using your divine imagination to create a detailed picture of a disaster that has not happened yet. You are visualizing the empty bank account. You are rehearsing the eviction. You are feeling the shame of the unpaid bill. You are praying for what you do not want. Worry is negative prayer. Every time you spend an hour worrying about your finances, you are essentially placing an order with the universe for financial ruin. You are saying, "Dear universe, I trust in disaster more than I trust in deliverance. I believe in lack more than I believe in supply." And the universe, which respects your free will, says if that is what you believe, then that is what you shall receive. This is why worry is a sin against your own prosperity. It is an insult to the divine intelligence that created you. It is acting like an orphan when you have a king for a father. The mechanism of this energy is very precise. When you are in a state of non-resistance, you are relaxed. Your hands are open. An open hand can receive. An open hand can catch a ball. An open hand can hold water. But when you are in a state of resistance and worry, your hands are clenched into fists. You are ready to fight, but a clenched fist cannot receive anything. You cannot put money into a closed fist. You cannot pour blessings into a closed fist. By fighting your current reality, you are closing yourself off from the new reality that is trying to reach you. You are so busy defending yourself against poverty that you have no energy left to welcome wealth. So what does non-resistance look like in a practical sense? Does it mean you just lay in bed and do nothing? Absolutely not. Non-resistance is an internal stance. It means you look at your debt and instead of panicking, you say, "This is a temporary condition that is now resolving." You look at the lack and you do not give it the power to define you. You stand still. You stand your ground. You refuse to be moved by appearances. The Bible says, "Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." Standing still is the hardest thing for a human to do because our instinct is to run around and fix things. But the spiritual warrior knows that frantic action creates more chaos. Calm action creates miracles. Let's go back to the analogy of the water. If you are caught in a riptide, the worst thing you can do is swim against it. You will drown from exhaustion. The only way to survive is to relax and float or swim parallel to the shore until the current releases you. Your financial struggle is a riptide. You have been swimming against it for years and you are drowning. I am telling you to stop swimming against the lack. Stop fighting the bills in your mind. Float. Trust that the ocean of abundance is bigger than the current of debt. When you stop fighting, you stop generating the turbulence that keeps the money away. You must understand that money is attracted to peace. Have you ever noticed that when you finally give up on something, when you finally say, "You know what, I am going to be okay, whether this happens or not," that is the exact moment it shows up. Why does that happen? It happens because you release the resistance. You release the chokehold. You took your foot off the hose. The water was always there, trying to flow, but your anxiety was kinking the hose. The moment you relax, the water poured through. This requires a massive shift in your identity. You have to stop identifying as a struggler. You have to stop wearing your stress like a badge of honor. You have to realize that your peace is your power. Every time you feel anxiety rising about money, you must catch it immediately. You must see it as a thief coming to steal your wealth. Do not invite the thief in for tea. Do not sit there and entertain the anxiety. Dismiss it. Replace it. Say to yourself, I refuse to worry about this. I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free to be rich. The universe cannot resist a person who is not afraid. Fear is the only thing that gives the negative reality power. If you are not afraid of the debt, it loses its grip on you. If you are not afraid of the lack, it dissolves. This is what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. Sight shows you the empty wallet. Faith shows you the overflowing treasury. And the law of non-resistance says that if you stay in the energy of faith and refuse to fight the shadows will disappear on their own. So from this moment on, we declare war on worry. Not by fighting it, but by starving it. We stop feeding our fear with our attention. We stop telling our sad story to everyone who will listen. We stop complaining about the economy. We stop participating in the collective panic. We become islands of calm in a sea of chaos. And because we are calm, we become magnetic. We become the open hand. We become the safe harbor where the ships of abundance can finally dock. The struggle is over because you have decided to stop struggling. You have decided to let the current carry you. And the current always leads to the ocean of infinite supply. Before we dive into the deep excavation work of clearing your lineage, I want to invite you to make this calm harbor your permanent home. If you are feeling the peace settle in your spirit, and if you are ready to stop fighting and start receiving, then I invite you to join our community. Click the subscribe button right now. By subscribing, you are telling the universe that you are committed to this path of non-resistance. You are aligning yourself with a frequency of ease. Give this video a like if you are ready to let the ships come in. Now, let us go deeper and break the invisible chains of the past. We have calmed the surface of the sea and prepared the soil for miracles, but now we must do the deep excavation work. We must look at what is buried beneath the floorboards of your mind. Many of you are fighting a battle that did not begin with you. You are fighting a battle that started generations ago. You are carrying the financial trauma of your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents. You are operating on a software program that was installed before you could even speak. We call these the vows of poverty. These are not formal vows that you took in a church. These are silent, unconscious agreements that you made as a child to stay small, to stay safe, and to stay loyal to your tribe. Today we are going to break these vows. Today we are going to clear your lineage and set you free from the history of lack. To understand why you struggle with money, despite your hard work, you must understand the nature of the subconscious mind. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the subconscious is simply a faithful servant. It has no sense of humor and it has no judgment. It simply records what it is told and then replays it as your reality. When you were a child, your subconscious was wide open. It was like a sponge, soaking up every word, every sigh, and every fear from the adults around you. Think back to your childhood dinner table. What did you hear about money? Did you hear that money doesn't grow on trees? Did you hear that rich people are greedy or evil? Did you hear your parents fighting in hushed tones about bills? Did you see the look of panic in your mother's eyes when the rent was due? These were not just events. These were programming commands. Your innocent child mind interpreted these moments and created rules for your survival. You concluded that money is scarce. You concluded that money causes pain. You concluded that wanting money makes you a bad person. And perhaps most dangerously, you concluded that in order to belong to your family, you must share in their struggle. This is the loyalty of the subconscious. Deep down, you feel that if you become wealthy, you will be betraying your ancestors who worked hard and had nothing. You feel that if you rise above your station, you will be abandoned by your tribe. So you sabotage your own success. You get close to the breakthrough, and then you panic and pull back because your programming says it is not safe to be rich. This is the vow of poverty. It is a silent contract that says, I promise to struggle so that I can remain innocent and loved. I promise to be poor so that I will not be judged. But I am here to tell you that this contract is null and void. The universe did not write it. Fear wrote it. And today you have the authority to tear it up. You are not honoring your ancestors by repeating their suffering. You honor them by healing it. You are the cycle breaker. You are the one chosen to pivot the entire lineage from lack to abundance. You are the new ancestor who sets a new standard for the generations to come. We must also address the spiritual guilt that clings to money. Many of you were raised with religious or societal beliefs that poverty is somehow more spiritual than wealth. You were taught that it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. You internalize the idea that money is filthy lucre. If your subconscious believes that money is dirty, it will keep you clean by keeping you broke. It will protect you from wealth as if wealth were a disease. We need to wash this belief away right now. Money is not good and money is not bad. Money is simply an amplifier. If you are a good person, money will make you able to do more good. It will build hospitals. It will feed the hungry. It will support your family. It will give you the freedom to serve the world with your gifts. God is the God of opulence. Look at nature. Look at the number of stars in the sky. Look at the leaves on the trees. Look at the grains of sand on the beach. There is no lack in the divine mind. There is only lavish abundance. Scarcity is a man-made concept. It is a lie we tell ourselves to control resources. By accepting your divine inheritance, you are aligning with the truth of creation. You are stepping into the flow that was always meant for you. There is no virtue in being unable to pay your bills. There is no holiness in anxiety. The true spiritual path is one of mastery, and mastery includes the mastery of the material world. So, how do we reprogram the machine? How do we overwrite the old files of lack? We do it through the power of the spoken word and the power of conscious rejection. You must actively renounce the old beliefs. You cannot just ignore them. You must confront them and dismiss them. Imagine you are standing in a court of law. You are the judge. The old beliefs are the defendants. They are guilty of stealing your joy and your prosperity. You must sentence them to exile. I want you to repeat this process in your mind or out loud if you can. Identify a phrase you heard growing up. Maybe it was, "We can't afford that." Now say to that phrase, "I delete you from my consciousness. You are a lie. My father is rich, and I am an heir to the kingdom." Identify the feeling of guilt when you spend money. Say to that feeling, "I release you. It is God's pleasure to give me the kingdom. I spend with love, and I receive with joy." You have to be aggressive with this. You are weeding the garden of your mind. You are pulling out the poisonous weeds of poverty so that the flowers of prosperity can grow. This process of clearing your lineage requires you to forgive your parents and your past. They did the best they could with the programming they had. They were operating out of fear because they didn't know any better. But you do know better. Forgiveness cuts the cord of karma. When you forgive them for their poverty consciousness, you stop inheriting it. You say, "I love you, but I do not accept your fear. I honor you, but I do not accept your limitations. I am walking a different path." This takes courage. It can feel lonely, at first, to step out of the familiar energy of the family struggle. But you will find that as you rise, you lift everyone else up with you. Your success becomes a beacon of hope for your entire family line. You must install a new operating system. You must begin to tell yourself a new story about who you are. You are not the descendant of struggle. You are the descendant of the Most High. Your DNA is encoded with the grandeur of the universe. Start telling your subconscious that money is your friend. Tell it that money is safe. Tell it that money is easy. At first, your mind will resist. It will say, "That's a lie." But remember, the subconscious learns through repetition. If you repeat the new truth enough times, it will eventually accept it as the new law. You are literally rewiring your brain. You are carving new neural pathways that lead to wealth instead of worry. This is the breaking of the chains. Visualize a heavy metal chain that has been wrapped around your ankles, keeping you tethered to the past. Now, visualize a bolt of lightning from the heavens striking that chain and shattering it into dust. You are free. You can walk into your future without the drag of the past. You can look at a bill without hearing your mother's sigh. You can look at a luxury item without hearing your father's criticism. You are a sovereign being. You define your own relationship with abundance. From this day forward, you operate under a new charter. The old vows are broken. The vow of poverty is replaced with the vow of plenty. The vow of struggle is replaced with the vow of ease. The vow of loyalty to suffering is replaced with the vow of loyalty to joy. You have cleared the slate. You have washed the windows of your soul. Now, the light can get in. Now the ships can find you. You are no longer fighting the ghosts of the past. You are co-creating with the power of the present. Stand tall in this new identity. You are the one who changes everything. We have cleared the weeds of your lineage, and now we stand ready to plant the seeds of your new reality. The soil of your mind is fresh and fertile. The sea of your emotions is calm. Now we must pick up the most powerful tool ever given to humanity, which is the power of the spoken word. Florence Scovel Shinn famously taught that your word is your wand. She spoke of the magic purse of the spirit, which can never be depleted. This is not a fairy tale. This is a metaphysical description of the fourth dimension, where supply is infinite and immediate. You have a magic purse available to you right now, but you have zipped it shut with your words of lack. Every time you said, "I can't afford it," you closed the purse. Every time you said money is hard to get, you threw the purse away. Today we are going to reclaim it. We are going to use specific decrees to slice through the invisible barriers and open the floodgates of abundance. I want you to understand that a decree is not a wish. A wish is weak. A wish hopes something might happen. A decree is a command issued by a sovereign authority. When a king issues a decree, he does not wonder if it will be obeyed. He knows it is law. You are the king or queen of your own life, and your decrees are the law of your universe. We are going to walk through a series of powerful affirmations together. I want you to say these words either out loud or with a thunderous voice in your mind. Do not just recite them like a parrot. Feel the vibration of them in your chest. Let them rewrite your DNA. Let us begin with the most fundamental decree regarding the source of your money. Most of you think your job is your source, or your clients are your source, or the economy is your source. This is the great illusion. Those are merely channels. God is the source. Channels can dry up or change, but the source is eternal. When you look to the channel, you feel fear. When you look to the source, you feel peace. So, let us realign your vision right now. Repeat this with me. God is my unfailing supply, and large sums of money come to me quickly under grace in perfect ways. Feel the weight of that sentence. Under grace means you do not have to steal it, or fight for it, or lose your health to get it. It comes as a gift. In perfect ways means it comes without strings attached. It might come as a raise, or a refund, or a gift, or an idea that turns into gold. You are releasing the how and focusing on the what. Say it again. God is my unfailing supply, and large sums of money come to me quickly under grace in perfect ways. Visualize the channels multiplying. If one door closes, 100 windows open because the source is active. Now, let us address the struggle of work. Many of you believe that to get money, you must do work you hate. You believe in the curse of toil, but the Spirit wants you to express yourself perfectly. There is a divine design for your life where work feels like play and money follows joy. Let us command this reality into existence. Repeat this decree. I have a magical work in a magical way. I give magical service for magical pay. This is one of Florence's most famous affirmations for a reason. It breaks the chain of slavery. It affirms that your work can be magical, meaning it flows effortlessly and brings you delight. It affirms that you are paid magically, meaning you are compensated generously, far beyond your labor. You are not trading time for money. You are trading value for abundance. Say it again and feel the heaviness of your current job dissolving. I have a magical work in a magical way. I give magical service for magical pay. Now, we must deal with the fear of debt and the fear of empty bank accounts. The visual evidence of lack is very convincing to the human eye. You look at the bill and you feel the panic rising. We must speak directly to that empty space and fill it with spiritual substance. The Spirit creates from the formless. It fills the vacuum. So when you see a lack, you must declare the fullness. Repeat this with me. I draw from the abundance of the spheres my immediate and endless supply. All channels are free. All doors are open. Notice the word immediate. We are not asking for money in 10 years. We are acknowledging that the supply exists now. And notice the command, all channels are free. You are speaking to the invisible blockages and commanding them to dissolve. You are telling the universe that there is no obstruction between you and your good. Say it again with authority. All channels are free. All doors are open. Visualize the roadblocks crumbling. Visualize the dams breaking and the water of wealth rushing in to fill every dry canyon of your life. Sometimes, the burden of financial stress feels too heavy to carry. You lie awake at night, trying to figure it out. This is when you must use the law of casting the burden. You cannot fix it with your limited human mind, so you must hand it over to the superconscious mind, which knows the way out. This is a profound act of trust. Repeat this decree. I cast this burden of debt and lack on the Christ within, and I go free to be rich. Feel the physical release when you say that. I go free. You are no longer the prisoner of your bills. You have handed the file over to the universal manager, and he is handling it. You are free to be happy. You are free to be rich. Wealth is not just money, it is the freedom from worry. When you cast the burden, you are instantly rich because you have reclaimed your peace. Say it again. I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free to be rich. There is often a fear that we have missed our chance or that it is too late for us. You might think you are too old or that you made too many mistakes. But in the divine mind, there is no time and there is no lost opportunity. There is only the eternal fresh start. Let us call back the years that the locusts have eaten. Repeat this decree. I banish the past. I live in the wonderful now, where happy surprises come to me each day. Happy surprises. I love that phrase. It trains your brain to look for the good. It shifts you from expecting disaster to expecting delight. When you wake up expecting a happy surprise, you become a magnet for miracles. You are telling the universe that you are open to being delighted. You are open to the unexpected check in the mail. You are open to the unexpected meeting that changes your career. Say it again. I banish the past. I live in the wonderful now where happy surprises come to me each day. Finally, we must seal this session with a decree of gratitude and absolute faith. We must act as if it is already done. We must speak the language of completion. The walls of Jericho did not fall down until the people shouted. They shouted before the walls fell. Your shout is your faith. Repeat this final, powerful decree. It is done. The Spirit is never too late. I give thanks that I have received. I give thanks that the walls of lack have crumbled and I am walking into my promised land. Feel the truth of that. The Spirit is never too late. Even if it is the 11th hour. Even if the deadline is tomorrow. The Spirit moves with lightning speed when the way is clear. You have cleared the way with these decrees. You have opened the magic purse. It is open now, and it will remain open as long as you keep your words aligned with this truth. Do not unzip the purse today and then zip it shut tomorrow with a complaint. Keep it open with your gratitude. Keep it open with your expectancy. I want you to take these affirmations and write them down. Put them on your mirror. Put them in your wallet. When you open your physical wallet and see it empty, say to it, I see you full. Overlay the spiritual truth onto the physical lie. Your word is the bridge. Walk across that bridge from the land of hunger to the land of plenty. You have the power. You have the wand. Now use it every single day. We have done the internal work of calming the sea, and we have spoken the decrees of power, but now we must bring this philosophy down from the clouds and into your wallet. Faith without works is dead. You can meditate on abundance all day long, but if you walk into the grocery store and feel a knot of fear in your stomach, when you swipe your card, you are canceling your prayer. The universe does not just listen to what you say in your meditation room, it watches how you behave at the cash register. This brings us to the most practical and challenging technique of all, which is the art of acting as if. Specifically, we are going to transform the way you pay your bills and spend your money. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you prove to the universe that you truly trust the supply you have been affirming. I want you to observe your current relationship with spending. For most people, the act of paying a bill is an act of pain. You look at the electricity bill and you resent it. You look at the rent check and you write it with a trembling hand, thinking, "There goes my money." You treat every dollar that leaves your pocket like a soldier that is dying in battle, never to return. This feeling of contraction and loss is what blocks the flow. You are creating a dam in the river of substance. You are trying to hoard the water, but water that does not flow becomes stagnant and toxic. Money is currency, and currency means current. It must move to generate power. If you stop the outflow, you automatically stop the inflow. You cannot inhale forever, you must exhale to stay alive. Spending is the exhalation of your financial body. So we are going to change the game today. We are going to turn the act of paying bills into a spiritual ritual of gratitude and multiplication. The next time you receive a bill, I want you to stop seeing it as a debt. I want you to reframe it immediately as a receipt of a blessing already received. Look at that electricity bill. Instead of seeing a number that takes away your wealth, see the light that illuminated your home. See the warmth that kept your family safe. See the energy that cooked your food. That bill is not a demand. It is a certificate of abundance. You have already been blessed. The company trusted you enough to give you the service before you paid for it. That is a compliment to your integrity. When you shift your perspective from, "I have to pay this," to "I am grateful for this service," you change the vibration of the transaction completely. Here is the specific technique I want you to use. From this day forward, never pay a bill with resentment. If you are angry about the bill, do not pay it yet. Wait until you can get into a state of peace. When you are ready to send the payment, I want you to bless the money. Whether you are clicking a button online or handing over cash, say these words in your mind. I send this money out with love, and I bless its journey. It leaves me to bless others, and it returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold. Visualize that money going out to pay the salaries of the workers who provided the service. Visualize it feeding their families. See your money as a seed that you are planting in the garden of the economy. A farmer does not cry when he throws seed onto the ground. He does not say, "Oh no, I am losing my seeds." He throws them with joy because he knows the harvest is coming. You are the farmer. Your spending is your seeding. This technique of acting as if requires you to break the poverty flinch. You know that flinch. It is that split second of hesitation when you look at a price tag. It is that feeling of shrinking when the waiter brings the check. That flinch is a prayer for lack. You must practice overriding it. You do not have to go out and buy a Ferrari to do this. You practice with the small things. When you buy a cup of coffee, do not buy the cheapest one just because it is cheap. If you want the one with the extra flavor, buy it, and do so with a feeling of opulence. Say to yourself, I am rich enough to afford this pleasure. That extra dollar is a signal to your subconscious that you are moving up in the world. You are training yourself to handle wealth. If you cannot be comfortable spending $5, you will never be comfortable spending $5,000. This leads us to the spiritual power of tipping and generosity. Many people who are struggling hold back on tipping because they think they need to save every penny. But this is the logic of the beggar. The beggar says, "I cannot give because I do not have." The master says, "I give so that I may receive." When you leave a generous tip, especially when you feel like you can't afford it, you are performing a radical act of faith. You are breaking the fear of lack. You are telling the universe, "My supply is so vast that I can afford to bless this person." You are priming the pump. Water cannot flow from a pump until you pour a little water into it first. Your generosity is the water that primes the pump of universal supply. There is a profound metaphysical secret here. What you do to others, you are doing to yourself. When you are stingy with the waiter, you are actually being stingy with yourself. You are telling the universe to be stingy with you. But when you are lavish with others, the universe becomes lavish with you. It is the law of the boomerang. If you throw out a boomerang of tightness, it comes back and hits you with tight circumstances. If you throw out a boomerang of generosity, it returns to you with overflowing opportunities. So make it a game. See how good you can feel when you let money go. Feel the thrill of circulation. Feel the joy of being a conduit for God's wealth. I know what the voice of fear is saying right now. It is saying, "But I don't have enough money to act rich. I have real debts. I have real problems." And I am telling you that this is exactly why you must do this. You cannot solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. You created the lack with fear and hoarding. You can only dissolve it with faith and circulation. You have to act rich to become rich. This does not mean being irresponsible. It does not mean spending rent money on luxury bags. It means spending the money you do have with the dignity of a millionaire. It means walking through the store with your head high, knowing that your supply is on the way. It means looking at a bill and refusing to be intimidated by a piece of paper. Florence Scovel Shinn told the story of a woman who had a limited income but acted as if she were rich. She treated herself well. She bought the best quality clothes she could afford, even if she had few of them. She refused to use chipped dishes. She refused to speak about poverty. And very quickly, her external reality rearranged itself to match her internal standard. Opportunities found her. Money came from unexpected sources. Why? Because she prepared the container. You cannot pour expensive wine into a dirty, cracked cup. You must upgrade your container. Your container is your consciousness. When you act with dignity and gratitude, you are polishing the cup. You are making yourself a vessel fit for the gold that is coming. So here is your assignment for the next time you spend money. Whether it is $5 or $500, pause before you pay. Connect with the spirit of opulence. Remind yourself that there is no shortage in God's kingdom. Release the money with a smile. Literally smile. Let your body feel the ease of the transaction. Say thank you, God, for the ability to pay this. Even if it is your last dollar, especially if it is your last dollar, pay it with absolute trust. The widow in the Bible gave her last mite, and she was blessed above all others. It is not the amount that matters, it is the energy behind the amount. $1 million given with fear is poverty. $1 given with love is wealth. Start today. Go buy something small and feel the joy of ownership. Feel the power of being a customer. Feel the dignity of choice. You are not a victim of the economy. You are a creator of the economy. Your money is energy, and you are the director of that energy. Direct it toward love. Direct it toward gratitude. Direct it toward faith. And watch how quickly the flow reverses direction. Watch how the money you sent out with love comes racing back to you, bringing its friends with it. The dam is broken. The river is moving. You are in the flow. We have reached the shore of our journey together. We started with a divine appointment, acknowledging the deep fatigue in your soul, and we have traveled through the invisible walls of resistance. We have calmed the storms of anxiety. We have cleared the ancient vows of poverty from your bloodline. We have opened the magic purse with our decrees, and we have learned to walk through the marketplace with the dignity of a king. Now we stand at the threshold of your new life. This is not just the end of a video. This is the end of an era. This is the funeral for the version of you that believed struggle was necessary. And it is the coronation of the version of you that knows abundance is your birthright. I want you to feel the gravity of this moment. You are not the same person who clicked on this video 30 minutes ago. Something has shifted in your cellular memory. The heavy chains of fear have been loosened, and the light of understanding has flooded in. As you prepare to turn off this screen and return to the three-dimensional world, I have a final charge to give you. The world out there has not changed yet. The bills on your counter are still there. The numbers in your bank account might look the same as they did an hour ago. But do not be deceived by appearances. The world has not changed, but you have changed. And because you have changed, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself around you. You are going back into your life not as a thermometer that just reflects the temperature of the room, but as a thermostat that sets the temperature. You are going back with a secret weapon. You have the peace that passes understanding. You have the knowledge that the supply is real and that it is on its way. I want to warn you. The old reality will try to test you. It will try to pull you back into the comfortable misery of the struggle. A problem will arise. A delay will happen. A voice of doubt will whisper in your ear. When that happens, I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember that the old problems are just echoes. They are the smoke clearing after the fire has been put out. Do not treat the echo as if it is a new voice. Do not treat the smoke as if it is a new fire. Recognize it for what it is. It is the residue of the past leaving your life. Smile at it. Say to it, I see you, but you have no power over me anymore. I have graduated from the school of struggle. Stand your ground. Hold your peace. The echo will fade, and the new song of abundance will take its place. I want to offer a benediction over your life right now. A benediction is a speaking of good. It is a seal of protection and power. Receive this into your spirit. I bless your mind that it may be a fortress of faith, refusing entry to any thought of lack. I bless your eyes that they may see the invisible supply, even when the visible world shows emptiness. I bless your ears that they may hear the guidance of intuition, leading you to the pot of gold. I bless your hands that they may be open to receive and generous to give, knowing that the flow is infinite. I bless your wallet and your bank accounts, commanding them to be filled with the substance of the divine spirit. I bless your work that it may cease to be toil and become a joyful expression of your talent. I bless your lineage that the cycle of poverty stops with you and a new legacy of wealth begins today. You are done with the begging. You are done with the pleading. You are done with the sleepless nights. Those belong to a stranger you no longer know. You are now the commander. You are the architect. You are the beloved child for whom the fatted calf has been killed. The feast is ready. The robe is ready. The ring is ready. All you have to do is walk in and sit down. Do not let anyone or anything convince you to go back to the pig pen of worry. You belong at the table. This transformation requires maintenance. It requires a community of like-minded souls who are also walking this path. You cannot do this alone in a vacuum. You need to be reminded of these truths daily, because the world will try to make you forget. This channel is your sanctuary. It is your fueling station. We are building an army of light workers who are rewriting the economy of the world through the power of consciousness. I invite you to be a permanent part of this family. If you have felt the shift today, if you have felt the chains fall off, then I ask you to seal this pact with an action. Scroll down to the comments section right now. This is not just about leaving a comment for the algorithm. This is about leaving a mark in the universe. I want you to write a declaration of your new state. Write, I am done struggling. I am ready to receive. Or write, my struggle ends today. State it publicly. Let your words stand as a witness against the old life. When you write it, you anchor it. You tell your subconscious mind that you are serious. I want to see thousands of declarations below this video. I want to see a tidal wave of people claiming their power. Your comment might be the sign that someone else needs to see to believe that they can be free too. And if you have not done so yet, click that subscribe button. Do not just watch and leave. Join us. Turn on the notifications so that every time a new message is released, you are reminded of who you are. We are going to go deeper. We are going to unlock more doors. We are going to master this game of life together. By subscribing, you are saying yes to the ongoing education of your soul. You are saying yes to a life of ease and flow. Now go forth from this place. Walk with your head high. Breathe deeply. Smile at the future because it is bright. The hard part is over. The resistance is gone. The struggle is finished. The ships are docking in the harbor. The gangplank is down. The cargo is being unloaded. It is all yours. Receive it. Enjoy it. Share it. And never ever look back. It is done. It is done. It is done.